Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. Today, I got something nice for you. Let's do what we do. Writism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. Numbers is good. Let's rock. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinker's way of life, and that's what it is. Through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. Right thinkers, your goal as a right thinker is to know thyself. I give you the information you need daily to make that happen. You tune in, we can make it happen. Do what you gotta do. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not, knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and always. So my yacht, be true. We back in the book again. I want to show you a picture. Remember, these are hieroglyphs. And this is a picture that you saw on the wall. You saw that? You know that's God. That's the Capri pushing God. That's the sun across the sky. This is the all-encompassing God, or excuse me, that's the Scarab God. You see him with the wings pushing the disc. That's the sun. Then you see him up there in human form. I'm gonna break all that down for you. Good lesson. Hope you enjoy it. Let's go. Title is Right Thinkers. Let's talk about the Scarab symbols, transformation, and these aspects. I'm gonna break it down for you, and then I'm gonna take you to the twins, they call them. Okay, the twin lions. Okay, but we know them as Shoe and Tough Newt, better known as Air and Moisture. Okay, so hope you get the lesson. Hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. First, I showed you the scarab pushing the sun disk. Okay, it's important to understand that the creation act is not something that happened once long ago. Capri, that's what the scarab beetle name is, okay? Capri creates the new day when? Every day, as I say, daily, okay? Thus, the implication, watch this, is that creation is constantly, continuously processed, which sustains the universe at what? Every moment, as a person sustains their dream world at every moment, what? During the dream state. We go lay down, and everything that's up here between these two temples is what go on in our minds. Okay, the scarab dung beetle of Egypt is an insect which what it burrows into the mud caused by what the Nile annual flood waters, and after the muddy waters recede, what happens? Now the beetle comes up with what a new body, aka excuse me, a new being. The beetle symbolically is linked to Ra. Why? Because the sun in the morning, who comes out of what is seen to come out of the murky waters of the ocean, the dark from the dark night, and the scarab uses the dung ball, which he gathers up, make a ball, and lay his eggs in there, and push them around with the sun all day. Okay, now for nourishment for the young, that's where they come out of. The dung, they eat it, they grow up in it, that's what they do. Hence, dung beetle. A part of the ecology system that he had to be conscious. Why? Because they take care of the dung all over the jungle. Now, in the same way, the sun rises from the east in the morning as a new beginning, we don't know what it goes through to get there. Egyptians had a concept for that too. It's called the underworld. He go into the underworld and he got to deal with his nemesis. See, we had every aspect covered. Okay, everybody got a counterpart or nemesis. All right, Ra had one. His is Apophis. They got a meteorite that's about to hit us in a few years. They call it Apophis. And if you know anything about Apophis, that means darkness. He come from the dark. He want to go back to the dark. That's why he try to stop Ra from shining every day. Ra shines in the underworld also. So the underworld's dark. While he up here, underworld's cool, no problem. But when he come, he come to light. Let's go. So that's the concept. Now the scarab energy of transformation. I use the caterpillar concept. They use the scarab. Caterpillar, we all know he inching around, but when he go into that cocoon, when he come out, he gonna be a bad somebody, a uniquely one of a kind butterfly. That's the concept for human beings. We are unique in that way. Why? We can transform consciously. Now, let's talk about this. The morning in the sun, he's Kepri, right? The sun is the journey every day, right? It does this every day. Has been doing it since he said, let there be. That's when time began, the big bang. Yeah, light. In the morning, the sun is Kepri, the scarab. At noon, it becomes Ra in its full capacity at its highest state at 12 o'clock. It's at its highest point. Now it's starting to ascend, or descend. It ascends and coming up, highest point 12. Now it starts to descend. You got Kepri, you got Ra, and the sunset is called Tim. Get a lesson about him. He represents what? The end, as y'all would Greeks would call it, the Omega, the end. That's Tim. We're gonna learn about him also. So let's go. So Ra at noon, he becomes Ra. And in the evening, the setting sun, it is Tim. These different phases, just like life, okay, symbolizes that the one supreme being which manifests as what? A triad. That means three. With the Indians, God carries a what? A trident, a three-pronged metal thing. So everything pretty much is in threes. Let me break that down as we go too. So watch this. Now it symbolizes the supreme being which manifests in the triad of time, meaning past, present, and future. When they got thought, Tahuti, the Greeks call him thrice great. Why? Because he's great in the past, he's great in the future, and he's great in the present. He's all great all the time. That's the concept. All right. So let's talk about the scarab right quick. The scarab symbolizes, again, transformation. And here we are what? Transforming who? Ourselves. How? Mentally. Become conscious. Learn. Comprehend. Study. Implement it. Why? Physically. You put the work in. I don't do yoga, but I'm in the gym every day working out my own personal program for me. That's physically. I'm taking care of that part. And the best part of all is what? Spiritually. I can be, do, and act on my higher conscious, not acting on my lower level, my lower nature. If you're spiritual, that means you got spiritual discipline. You have a concept of a higher self, aka God. We know him as Haru. Your spirit is Haru because it's from God. That's the concept. I've been teaching this the whole time, so let's go. We know that already. Let's talk about Scarab some more. Get some more understanding. And when you're growing, you're transforming three phase. Again, that three phase: mental, physical, and spiritual, aka mind, body, and soul. Sounds familiar? You see, ain't nothing new, ain't nothing changed. It's just rehashed all over again. Why? Because to us, it's new. For those who study no history, this is the right way to go. Why? That's what our ancestors did. That's where I got it from. I don't make this up. I follow it. I learn it, implement it, and then I can what? Teach it. Why? Because I'm doing it. Moving on. We are, where we at? Okay, we are in transforming ourselves mentally, spiritually, physically, and spiritually into what? A higher being. We call them Akus. That means an enlightened being. Not a human being, an enlightened being. If you're not enlightened, you're just human. Why? You're ignorant to your higher self. My goal is to make or get my right thinkers who practices philosophy to become higher beings. That's all. That's it. Understand that. In letting go, what? We are transforming ourselves. We are what? Becoming peaceful, becoming true agents of Hotep, which means peace, and coming into harmony with my girl, Mayat, because that's the principle that gives you the thing that you need to make that happen for yourself. It's the blueprint. Been here a long time. Moving on. So that's where I get my concepts and views from. But then once I live them, they become mine. That's Capri and Amen. Okay, right quick, we'll get a lesson on them guys. In human form, you can always tell Ra, excuse me, that's Capri and Ra. One of them got, they both got pretty much the same thing, the staff, the beard, the head. But look on top of the head, again, look at the headdress. Capri got a what? Scarab over his head. Ra got what? The sun disk and the Uranus. The Uranus is the snake. When you hear people call them snake people, that's because they had the Uranus on the front of their head. They call them the snake people, the druids. Everybody know about the serpent. The serpent ain't bad for everybody. Just you ignorant Christians who thought if the snake was bad, why did he give y'all knowledge of self? Another lesson I gave that already, but that's the concept. But sometimes we get stuff, just understand it. And right now, we're in the information age. If you get information, you can compare it with what? Other information. You ain't got to argue, hoop and holler about who's right, who's wrong. Nope. Google it. So that stops a lot of the arguments for ignorant people. Two ignorant people ain't never going to agree. So you got to give them information that'll satisfy both of them to their likings, pretty much. So that's the idea of me teaching, giving you information that you can use for yourself. Again, operative knowledge is the one that you're going to use. Speculative, me just giving you information that you can just, I heard about that, I know about that. Everybody heard and know about something that they have no clue about. But in their mind, because you heard about it, they know. You don't know jack. So that's the concept. Moving on. Let me break down my boys right here. Now, as creator, Capri, the scarab head, man. But here you see the scarab over top of his head. He's really a man with the full beard, the pharaoh type look. Okay. And he congealed where? In the noon. Again, his own body into what? All forms of creation. He created not only the universe, but also what? The spiritual teaching that was codified by, Tahuti and made the Medunetter, or the hieroglyphics they call them now, text, which contain what? Spiritual philosophy. Mayat is a spiritual philosophy that you can practice, manifest, and master for yourself, and you will have knowledge of self, and you will know thyself. That is what the society of our Egyptian ancestors lived for thousands of years. Thousands of years in peace and harmony. We ain't got a day. We can be lucky we get one day to celebrate and be peaceful. And that don't happen worldwide because there's somebody shooting up somewhere, somebody wilding out. We as a people have yet to get the concept of peace. Always good to talk about. We ain't acting on it. Just like that's speculative knowledge. Knowing it, all that. But if you're not operatively using it, it's a waste of time. And that's what we do a lot of. Waste time with a whole bunch of jibber jabber. Now, watch this. Tahuti is the one that gave us this what? Spiritual philosophy. We practice it, called it Mayat. Now, above I just showed you the picture. You got on the right forms of a god who we call Capri. On the right, we got the god we call Capri Ra. Okay, same thing except what? The headdress is different. When you see a sun disk and a serpent, you know that's Ra. And then in any form that he's in, that's still him. You see the headdress. Okay, that's the concept. And at the bottom, you see again. That's the scarab. That's Capri pushing Ra across the sky, aka the sun. And in the daytime, he don't have no opposition. He got no problem. But at night, it's time to do work. He got to call on his boy. Set where you at? Tahuti, come on, I need all y'all. Yeah. Tefnut. I'm about to get her no set mess giver. That's his girl, his daughter. She wanted to turn into the cat and cut a prophet's head off. But let's talk about my boy here. Now, we dealing with Capri. I just showed you a picture of him, showed you Scarab right there. Capri can also be depicted as a Ujat. That's the wing scarab, okay, pushing the sun disk. That's what I just showed you. And which exemplifies what his characteristics as what creator, and he's also all encompassing the divinity over what is created, which is us, his creation. Now, this is gonna be a little touchy, but hopefully y'all can get this in because I'm gonna break it down for you right quick. And I like about this book, it gives you a picture, then it gives you the breakdown of the picture. You see right here? That's a frog-headed god. See down there? Another one. In ancient times, the first gods was frogs and reptiles, okay? But they had a reason and purpose for that. So let's get into it right quick and break it down. I like this book because it gives you a little quick breakdown so I can give you a few lessons back to back to back without changing books. So I like this. So let's go. I just showed you a picture. Above the picture, the frog god Ka. He's the counterpart to your Ba. You got a Ba and a Ka. He represents the Ka. Is a form of what? Again, Capri. Wow. Over top of his head, you see what? The scarab. See it? Over top of his head? That's what his calling card, identification, so to speak. So watch this. Now, he was known, he wears the Capri headdress. Now, he is known, watch this, as the father of the gods. These are the original gods. Before they came in human, they was in zoomorphic form. They became anthropomorphic after we started using, and you'll see as we go along. But they start out zoomorphic. That's what you see. Oh, they got heads. Them gods got different heads. No, they were symbolic to represent the aspect of that animal. Moving on. Hope you get to understand. Now, the frog divinities lived in the primeval ocean. Again, the noon. And just as they emerged from the marshes after the rain in the Nile flood, they too, they emerged from the noon when what? Capri created creation. This, they give life to all beings. And the one who does that, remember ram-headed God, we know is Kunum. I gave my man that title because when I first came out there, he was helping people, so I gave him that title, but you can't have that title no more, man. No, I'm taking it away. You don't earn it. Again, if somebody has a title that they should have or supposed to be earned, and they not living up to it, you, what? Take it back, strip them. And then in the military, when you mess up, they take the stripes. I'm taking your God status. No longer Kuna, my man. Okay, that's him right here. And the idea come from y'all saying God took and make man out of dirt. This is where they got that concept from. Again, nothing new under the sun. We've done this before. Let's talk about that right quick. The goddess Hekwet, above right, gives life to the newly formed human body that has just been fashioned by the god Kunum, the ram-headed god. Another lesson there, but I ain't got time for that. I'm looking at the clock. I said I got to lesson. Get this one done. Now, thus, she is associated with the sources of what? The Hapi. The Hapi was considered the Nile Valley. They had a god called Hapi, little fat guy, funny guy, but he's Hapi, the Nile Valley river god. Along with Kunum, the Coptic Christians, the Christians continue the tradition of revering frogs as life givers. Sound familiar? I was going to go into, y'all still got time. I still got another page here to do of information. See that right there? See who that is? That's Tefnut. She represents moisture. And this is Shu in his two different forms. Let me go over that right quick. That's the last little page. I can wrap that up with you with that information. Good stuff. Now, Tefnut sits on the throne. She wears the sun disk with the double erase, front and back. She's covered. Okay, she's God conscious. Watch this. Now, in the bottom, you see under them, you see two guys. One with a headdress with 4 feathers on it. Okay. If you look at the attire, everything means something. They all carry the tail. You see that bull's tail? That's Taurus the bull. That's because Ra was considered the bull because in the Taurus, that was the sign they was in back in them days. And you see the feather that he wears? Shu wears the same feather that Mayat wears. Okay. In both of them, the feather don't waver, don't move. And Shu represents the wind, air. Okay. And the other side, you see him with his regalia on, with the tail, and you see them all got something in their hand. You look up, you see Tough Newt, you see something in their hand, that's the Ankh. They all carry the Ankh, signifying life. We use the cross is the way they use, symbolically the way they use the Ankh. How about that? So don't get caught up. No, I don't care about it being the death sign. It's the symbol that you use. Simple as that. The symbol you make it for may be different than symbol that they call it. So understand that when somebody says, well, symbolically, it means this. That means they put it in the perspective for themselves that they can work with it. That's what we teach you about the gods, so you can emulate them what? Your own way, any way you choose. Okay? So let's understand. The forms of Shu in the creation story involving the Sarian mysteries, Asar assumes the role of Khepri and Tem, Alpha and Omega, beginning and the end. Asar, that's our God in the flesh. While at the same time, what? Assuming the nature of Nabercha, the all-encompassing God. Shu and Tafnut, if you recall the speech of Nabercha, how did Shu and Tafnut come about? I like showing you this picture. Maybe everybody will see it. Okay. This is how they came about. That never gets old for me. Excuse me. It's not porn. It's a hieroglyph for showing how he swallowed his own seed. Some say he put it in his hand, he masturbated. No, the other one say no, he went straight to the head. But here goes the story right quick. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm taking it out. Nabercha saith what? I am the creator of what have come into being, and I myself came into being under the form of the god Khepri. That's the scarab beetle. And I came into being in primeval time, before time began. I had union with what? My hand. And I embraced my shadow in a love embrace. In the words of the Ozzy brother, you can't find somebody love the one you with. And if ain't nobody else around, love thyself. Moving on. That's my little personal thing. And it says here, right here, I poured seed into my own mouth. What is seed? That stuff that come out of that end right there. See how he taking it straight to the dome? Not in his hand. No, he wasn't. He tell you I poured the seed into my own mouth. And what he said, okay, poured seed into my own mouth. And I sent forth from myself issue in the form of the divinities which we know as Shu. He spat out Shu and he coughed up Tafnut, or some say vomited. And what's this? Well, yeah. Shu and she in the form of Tafnut, with the goddess in concert of Shu. That's the one you see in just the female aspect. She represents moisture, Now she represents also the life force that is contained where? In the air. She also symbolized moisture. Again, the dry air we can breathe. The moist air is the rain. We can't breathe that, okay? But she represents the power of rain, water, okay? And every form of water, watery substance. This is what I do. Teach you. Substance as well as what? The power of water. If you know, every culture has a flood story. Tsunamis, earthquakes causes the water to rise and come back and just wreak havoc. Tsunamis, okay. Every culture have experienced that. Why? Because if it happened over there, the tsunami going to happen over there. If it happens over there, the tsunami going to happen over there. Nature. So, but at the time, we couldn't call it East Coast and West Coast. Say, yo, man, we got something going on. What's going on over there? We didn't have that kind. So everybody thought it was the end of the world. Oh, we got flood out. No, and God made the promise to the Christians with the rainbow, said he won't flood the earth no more. Yes, he will. Because it ain't him. Nature will do what nature does. Moving on. Just understand it. Don't get caught up in a whole bunch of nonsensical, superstitious stories. The stories are to educate, not to brainwash and bamboozle you. Sorry. Now, in these capacities, she is directly related to my girl, Sekhmet. That's the liners that Ra sent down to do work, okay? And Bast, In her raw form, she's a lioness. The cats, Bass, she represents the female, feline cats, domestic cats, as the feline aspect. And the iconograph of the goddess is a is a typical Commission linking technique, what they call correlative theological statements. We tie all the guys in together, three different places, but they tie them all together. And you use throughout the Commission mythology. So there's no contradictions. There's no he's saying that, he's saying that. No, they all pretty much say the same thing. Okay, understand that. So Shu is the firstborn son of Ra as he emerged in the boat of what? 1,000,000 years. They had a number for a million back in the days. Okay, they've been counting a long time. From the primeval ocean, he represents air. Again, that's his quality. He's not Shu the person. He's air. We gave him identity. Get the concept? That's called zoomorphic. Okay, no, it's anthropomorphic because he's the human form, right? But he represents air, space, and y'all like to say another word, ether. Okay, Ra commanded what? That he separate Geb and Nut. I'm gonna give y'all them next. That's earth and heaven. They were joined together in love embrace. And Shu, the only thing between heaven and earth, like between me and you, and nothing between them now but Shu. You know it is air. Okay, concept. Who were in a sexual embrace, told you the story, and since then, he sustained, and they broke God's rule, first of all. So their punishment, she would be up there, he would be down here. She represents heaven, he represents earth, and they would always gaze upon each other for the rest of their days. If you broke God's law, it was for eternity. Ask them. Moving on, that's the concept. For any sin conducted, penalty for sin is death. Well, what? Death. Moving on. We tell you what to do, what not. Once you got Maya philosophy, the choice is yours. You do what's right, you earn your blessing. You do wrong, oh, death. Simple. Moving on. It ain't that hard. And we don't even check our kids now. If God will kill you for being disrespectful, why are we feeling like it's okay? No, it ain't. Disrespect is disrespect. It should be dealt with harshly. We call it punishment for a reason. Moving on. Let me wrap this up. Oh, I see. Oh, I went too far. Let me wrap this last bit up and I take it to the next lesson because that'll be Geb and Newt. But let's wrap this up right quick. Where I'm at. Okay, you got okay. Now, since then, he sustains Newt, the sky, with his upraised arms, separating them in mythological concept. You see him pushing her up. I had a picture there somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Okay. You see that picture? That's Shu, which is air, pushing Newt up off of Geb. Okay, that's the concept. I'll get to that in the next lesson right now. I'm going to get to the ends, wrap this up for you. Hope you understand the lesson. Now, where they at? Now, the arm raised separate from Geb, the earth, so that the creation may now continue to exist. God said, I can't put people out there with y'all doing y'all wild things. Break that up. So for human interactions could occur without what? Space and air. Shu, as well as the king of the gods and goddesses, are able to lead what? Right thinking aspirants to the divine. My God, my job and goal and mission is to get you to God for yourself with these concepts, understanding. That's what to make it happen for you. I'm trying to get you what? Know thyself. Thy is God. As stated earlier, Shu represents physical air, dryness, the space between heaven and earth. Again, I break it down for you. I should just keep reading. Let me wrap it up. Now, his symbol is again the ostrich feather, just like my yacht. Tefnut represents moisture, and her name is derived from the word tef, T-E-F-I, meaning spit. Okay, so yeah, he did spit out Tefnut. All right. And was stated in the creation next that Ra spat her out again of himself, and he sneezed, achoo, Shu. So when Ra created Shu and Tefnut, he became what? One and then three. I was one, I became three because I reproduced myself, male and female, did he. So that's where it starts. Duality, aka Maya. God is singular, the one. Everything comes from the one. Everything else coming from there is what? Paired up. That's the way it is. Now, wrapping it up. I think I just did. Oh, okay, yeah, I can stop right there. He said, I was one and then I became three. That was the concept. Now, in closing, right thinkers, I took a little long. Hope you got the message. I got more for you. I just get excited. I'm doing for you. So, in closing, may you all live to be 100 and me 100 minus a day. So I never know that right thinkers like you can pass away. I'll be back.